Hello there. In this demo, we're going to understand what CD is. As you all know, we have already discussed continuous integration, meaning whenever you commit the code in the files, your build pipeline will trigger automatically. Now, once your pipeline trigger automatically, you will have the artifact. And here we have already configured that this is our Java artifact, which is deploying to our app service. Now, we have a term called continuous deployment trigger. By clicking on it, you will see this. Now, if I enable this trigger, it have it what it will do, it will create a release every time a new build is available. Meaning, whenever a new build is available in this using the build pipeline, it will do the deployment automatically. You don't need to queue this or create a release manually. Let's perform this activity. We have enabled this trigger, which is a continuous deployment trigger. Let's save this, and we have saved this. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to duplicate this tab here and we'll go to the build pipeline. I'll just move it here. So this is our build pipeline. And if you open this build pipeline and hit edit, go to the triggers, we have this continuous integration enabled for this build pipeline. It is a CI. Now, for this CD, I'll just name it as CD. You can see that CD is triggered. So both by in this pipeline, CI is also triggered and CD is also triggered. So only thing the developer will be doing is committing the code in the repo, and the build will happen automatically and deployment will happen automatically. That is a CI CD workflow. Let's see that here. Let us go back to the pipelines, and again I'm gonna duplicate this tab. Let's go to the repos first. So okay, so in this we are using the repos from the GitHub that we're going to discuss as well. But for the time being, let's discuss if a code committed in this your repository, then the pipeline will trigger automatically due to the fact the CI is enabled. We have seen this already in the past. Now, let's open the GitHub. I'll open my GitHub here. So this is my GitHub repository. This is a calculator for which we were working. And let us edit the git.ignore. I will edit this file, add the code here, and we will hit commit changes. So we have committed the code. Now, if you go to the build pipeline, you see the pipeline has been triggered automatically. We haven't done from our end because we have did the changes, and if you see it's an individual CI and it is a GitHub. We also gonna look how you can integrate with, we have already created a service connection from GitHub to Azure, but we're gonna see this as well, the activity which I am doing, that how you can integrate the repos from the GitHub to the Azure DevOps. But for the time being, let's understand the CI/CD part. What I did, I just did edit the code in the GitHub, and once you edited the code, your pipeline is getting triggered automatically. And once this is getting completed, we will be seeing the release pipeline is also being created. The reason is because we have enabled this CD trigger here, and in the build pipeline we have enabled the continuous integration trigger. If I have to show you, I'll go here and go to the triggers. We'll see this. This is enabled. So this is because, so see, this is completed. Now if you see, we will have the artifact created here, one published. Now if you go to the pipeline, this is our release pipeline CD, this deployment is automatically started. So that's a complete automation. Developer comes, do a commit, That's all. Your pipeline will build because you have already created the pipeline, and the deployment starts automatically. There is no manual intervention. You committed the code, developer committed the code, and the build pipeline triggers. And once we trigger, we get this calculator, right? The one which we were discussing. We get this file, the calculator.jar file, and once we have that jar file, the deployment started. And to validate this deployment, we will go to the app service. This is our app service. Here, we will open the Kudo, like to check the deployment, and click on go. We have seen this in the past as well. We will see the files and folders, but if you open this release pipeline and see all the steps are successful. So this is our console. I'll open the CMD in the Kudo just to see the deployment for from the like CI/CD stuff. So I'll open the site. Then we're gonna open the www root. It is in progress, www root. And here if you see, just now we have did the deployment and all the files are coming up here. So this is how the CI/CD flow works. It's very simple. You just need to enable a CI trigger and then a CD trigger in your release pipeline, and the developer can commit a code. And once they do that, build will happen automatically. Once build happen automatically, you will have this code published here. Then as the new code is available in the artifact, that is over here, and you have put a trigger on this artifact, which means your pipeline should get triggered automatically for the deployment, and the deployment will happen because this trigger you have enabled. I hope you it all makes sense and you are able to follow along with me. Let me know in case you have any queries. I'll be happy to help you. We'll see you in the next. Thank you.